Cool. And I believe we're live. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Abel here with Pitbull Audio. And today I'm joined by none other than, I'm going to attempt to do this right now again, by Mattias Eklundh. Mattias, what's going on, man?
Splendid pronunciation. So splendid, very good. I know you've been practicing for days.
Days. The whole drive down here was just singing the name over and over again.
Yeah. Things are mighty fine in Sweden. It's cold as heck, and you freeze your balls off if you have them. And everything is well, sir. Everything is well. It's good talking to you.
You as well. We've been talking for a little bit before we actually went live, but I'm going to ask the all too basic question that I'm sure everyone keeps asking you when they're talking to you. But how are you doing throughout all the craziness in the world? Are you the type of person that just buries himself in work, or have you just been relaxing and eating all day like me?
I have not been relaxing. I like to use my time well, so I compose shitloads of music, lots and lots of it, and because I think it's a very, very splendid way to stay sane, actually. And I become a better human being by creating music with my Caparison Guitars, of course.
Yes,
promoting.
Right.
So I am quite a disciplined work schedule, and there will be more music than what's good for the planet coming out eventually. So yeah, and then I'll be back on stage when they allow me to, and spread again the Viking noise, and yeah, that's it.
Awesome. So, quick question. I think because I think it happened a little different for you than everybody else. I think nowadays when somebody gets an endorsement from a guitar company, they're probably it happens early these days to catch them younger. And when it does happen, it's probably like getting signed, back to a record label was. It's an amazing thing. But the way it happened for you, from what I understand, is it happened a long time ago, and I believe it was in Japan. Was it not that you were out there? And so, what's it like to be endorsed by such a big company? For this long? I mean, it's got to feel pretty prestigious, right?
Yeah, oh bloody hell. I mean, I was in Japan for the first time in 1996, and then I got to meet, at the time I had like a really cheap Ibanez guitar, and it was baby blue of all colors, very uncool, sparkling and baby blue. And there was this guy, what was his name? Never mind. He said, well, this is upsetting. You don't have an endorsement deal. You're fabulous. You're a wizard. You're the new black. And I said, not really. But the other day, the day after, I walked into the hotel lobby, and there was Itaru Kanu and a friend, Itaru from Caparison Guitars. And at the time, I was 25, 26 years old, and it was just amazing when someone would have said, take a few guitars with you home. And for me, my mind was blown, because I had to pay for everything. That's how it is when nobody knows about you. You're not really offered anything. Oh, how many likes do you have? How many views do you have? Oh, you can have a guitar. But at the time, this was not the case. So for me, it was amazing, and I am a loyal man. Because it meant everything to me back in the days to be given a few guitars to bring back, and I think a year later he approached me again, and we wrote actual letters, paper and pen, and said, how would you like a signature model? And I thought it was a brilliant idea. And how would you like to come to Japan at the Tokyo Musical Fair and present it? And I thought, I like. And the Applehorn Aurora was born. And before that, I had 3 custom Caparison guitars with hand-painted apples by Itaru. Give me a second.
Yeah.
This is the very first one.
Wow.
Which,
okay.
Yeah, this is a classic Caparison.
Wow.
So it's retired, but I love this a lot. It means a lot to me. I really don't care about guitars, but I like to make music on it. But this one, the Applehorn 8, is really, yes, I like it. So what was the question again? I don't remember.
That's okay. I think I was just basically how does it feel like nowadays being endorsed by such a big company in the guitar world?
Yeah, well, the thing is, stay true. I've been offered, dare I say, many endorsement deals.
I'd imagine.
And when there was a slight uncertainty when the old Caparison guitars, Japanese owned, the Kaiwa Shukai, were in slight trouble. Nobody knew what was going on, and I had a whole pile of emails from companies saying, how would you like to work with us? And I said, I don't do anything until I hear from Itaru. And so he wrote me, I will continue Caparison Guitars, and we now work with the new guys who picked it up, and it's been much better ever since. So, and it's a great thing. And again, I like to say, I've said it a million times, but nobody looks good with brown lipstick. Uh, people jump from one brand to the other and say, oh, they smell maybe a tad more money and maybe some attention, a promotional campaign, a clinic tour. Woohoo, I'll go. And then you start to smell slightly funny after a while. And that's not how us old Vikings roll, I should say.
You know what? Dare I say, I think that Caparison is still keeping that spirit alive, because I have a little small dumpy YouTube channel that I've had for a while, and when it had even less subscribers than it does now and less views than it does now, Caparison just said, "Hey, you want us to send you a couple of guitars so you can demo them?" And that was, I remember I'm making a video just about that, just about the fact that Caparison, this big company, was sending me guitars to demo. Of course, I was sending them back, but just the idea that I was even talking to somebody like that. So obviously a very nice company, and they believe in people. So
yeah, it means a lot. It really does. Who you are working with, it means, even wake up every day. Are you happy? And take away the stuff that you don't like. And with Caparison, you can just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Gabriel, how's it going?" Or write Itaro an email, and it's super simple. It's we're family. That's how it is, and I like that, and it means something actually.
Yeah, so definitely. So my next question, and I'm sure a lot of people have this question, but guide me through true temperament and how we ended up with the squiggly, perfect tone fretboard. How did, by the way, we're flexing on everybody right now who happens to be watching. We got apple horns just flying around everywhere right now.
Woo-hoo. Yeah.
I'm going to put it away. It's a workout. But.
No. We should jam. This is a divine piece of, this is an astounding instrument. As I said a moment ago, I don't polish my guitars. I get depressed for 21 seconds when I have to change strings, especially on this one. Right.
I can only
but I do care for my April Moon 8s, because you can do anything with this instrument. And the true temperament frets this is the first one when they actually slap it on in Japan. So they make the frets in Sweden and they send it to Japan. And for me, once you try true temperament frets, and I've always been really, really, should I say, pissed off about the crappy intonation of the guitar. It's never in tune, and you tune for a day and you can strum one chord and then you're screwed. Right. Oh no, you move it half step up and it sounds like merda.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but now it's just really, really nice. And you can do, an 8-string guitar that's black and looks shiny and metal. You want to do gent. That's the first thing you want to do, and that's the easy way to start going all pseudo Meshuggah.
Right.
But it's the things you can do with this if you treat it like almost like a chamber orchestra. And I've said this many times, is amazing. It has so much texture, and it's in tune.
That's incredible.
There's a beefy. I'm gonna play this chord for a couple of hours now.
We're just gonna sit here quietly while you play that chord.
Yeah, and also with the harmonics. So I love this a lot, and I get this itch to create music when I pick it up. It's like, so yeah, I care about my Applehorn 8s, and those are the ones that I play, and it's amazing. I remember when I had an 8-string guitar given to me with a different brand, and I said to my friends at Caparison, because they didn't have an 8-string guitar at the time, and how do you feel about me working with someone else? And they said, screw it, we'll build the best 8-string guitar on the planet for you. And I said, exactly.
I mean, so, by all accounts, it's an absolutely menacing guitar. I mean, you've got that black finish on it, very stealth black fretboard with no, real inlays to be seen. You got one volume, and that just seeing the strings go into the Floyd or the tremolo, it just looks intense, like how many strings there are. It's just, and with the devil's tail up top, it just looks so just menacing. And I'd imagine if maybe you were to see that guitar, you would immediately just get metal and dark vibes, from it just by looking at the front of it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. But you can do anything. You can do anything, and it's amazing because regardless of how heavy metal crazy you go, with the strings, it's still in tune.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. There must be an enormous pressure. I don't know anything about guitars, but I do realize because Itaru writes me every once in a while and says, "How is guitar holding up? How's the condition of the neck?" And so, perfect. You built it like a beast, and that's what it is. So
Right.
me happy Swedish guy, yes.
So here's a question that's a little bit both probably something people are wondering and then a little bit selfish for me, only because I was attempting to play your guitar to get more familiar with it before this, full disclosure. Um, I think in 6 string. It's just when I pick up even a 7 string, I have a hard time re-scrambling my brain and rewiring it to think and to play in, more strings, in that different language. So what would
Mhm.
your advice be to somebody like me or anybody else who's just going to try and, let's say they just bought your guitar today or picked up your guitar today? How do you
Yeah.
sort of change that outlook on the fretboard and be able to start playing, 8 strings as opposed to 6?
Yeah, well, it takes a while. First of all, I find a 7 string extremely confusing. I don't get it.
Really?
It's I want to rip off the 7th string. Take it away. What's the point? Because I've always used strange tunings and so on. So I never needed that. What is it? B on a regular?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you
low B,
tune
yeah.
to B. And it's like, what? I'm in A on my 6 string guitar.
Right.
So for me, it was never an option. And every time I pick it up, it's just something wrong with it. And 8 string, of course, it was extremely confusing at first. You spend a couple of weeks picking the wrong string. I said, where is it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it takes a while, and it's a different beast altogether than a 6 string. If I want to shred, if I want a sweet pick of doom, I pick up my 6 string guitar and use the neck pickup. If I do the same thing on an 8 string guitar, it's kind of heartbreaking and depressing when you listen back. It's like, oh, shit. uh, uh, but I make music. That's what I do. And for making music and for an extremely rich texture on 8 string guitar, especially my 8 string guitar with true temperament frets,
Right.
is you can do anything. But it's also good for me because I have been, spending my teenage years locked up in my teenage room with my teenage distortion pedal, too much distortion, and doing ostinatos all day. Oh, my picking has to be super clean. Nowadays, I really couldn't give a shit. I do not. I make music, and this is my sort of weapon of choice, so to speak.
Right.
And with this one, and I cool down a lot as well with it. Partly because of the true temperament frets and also the 8 string guitar. Every time I go all shredding, I blush, and it's like, nah. So every once in a while I do like guest solos for friends or whatever, and then they want me to do some classic Mattias Eklundh licks, and lots of wee-hoo-hoo and fast runs or whatever. So, yeah, all right, okay, I'll pick this one up again and play fast. But that's not really what I do nowadays. I try to explore, stay put, stay, the dark side of music and find new quirky ways to manifest my music. And the Haupthorn 8 is a splendid instrument. Of course, again, you pick it up and you start genting whatever that is, but you can do
The
so.
almighty D word, yeah. Or
Yeah. Oh, people write. Hello, Jones. Hello, Andre.
By
Hello,
the way,
Dominic.
just gonna put this out there now for everybody watching. If you're happening to watching the live stream right now and you have a question, feel free to go ahead and type it into the box. It's gonna pop up here in front of us, and we can see it. And Mattias will be happy to answer it if you guys have any questions. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be comments. You can ask away, and we can see it. By the way, thank you everybody for joining us.
Yeah, can I stand up? I have no pants.
No, you cannot stand up, sir. Oh man.
Sorry, I'm Swedish.
I think people get canceled by every online platform that we're streaming to right now.
Yeah. Hello, Adam. Hello, Benasna. Hello, Christian. Hello from Boston. You're a beautiful guy too, Benasna Mar. Very good. Yes. Many comments.
Awesome. What is up, guys? So just a quick, one of the things, what is your take on the direction that everything's taken right now in music? In my opinion, I think that the way it's really going is people have really turned from strictly guitar playing to composing, right? So everybody's really trying to make 1 minute to 2 minute videos that they all post on, on Facebook and on Instagram, and it gets shorter and shorter. as social media comes out and social media platforms give you less time, essentially. How do you feel about the direction that, kind of music is taking right now in terms of guitar playing?
Oh, I'm probably the last guy on the planet to ask because I have no clue. I have a 13-year-old son, and he's TikTok and Snapchat and
Yeah.
whatever. I do what I do. I get it out there and immediately turn off, go offline, and continue to work on music. And I make longer and longer songs. If someone, hey, go left, I go right. Hey, go right. I do everything backwards, and I do what I do. And I think because I'm a stubborn son of a bitch, I have been able to survive in this strange business for such a long time because I am interested in making music. And if
Right.
you are following whatever is hip at the moment, you may be hip for a moment,
Right.
but then you're gone, and as we spoke a little bit beforehand, before we started this live stream, is that if you just drag and drop whatever already pre-recorded MIDI stuff or whatever, and I want this, and this guy is using that, and it looks like everybody is wearing H&M clothing, but my son says to me, Dad, you look like a hobo. You look like you live outside. You just had a nice haircut today. I want to look like the Peaky Blinders, and I want to have this and that. And so, can you stay outside, Dad? You need to come into the. It's like, because I don't give a shit. And my wife tells me, did you go shopping in those pants? Yeah, what's wrong with these? Well, they have stains from last week. Right. Oh, great! I'm hungry, so I really don't give a shit. It's some kind of liberation to just take your guard down and say, yeah, you can. It's all right if you think I suck. It's all right, I do what I do because I need to do it, and I have an urge to do it, and I am I flew to this planet to do this, and I'm going to do it, and. So what was the question again? No, I have no clue. Is it getting shorter and shorter? Yeah, it's probably because of you need to get your stuff on TikTok out of. I don't know. Right. I don't care. I do what I do, and
So another question. This is more of a like tech question, but when you're writing songs, when you're actually sitting down, you're going to say, "I'm going to write a song right now." It's just you just picked up your guitar. Do you take a theoretical approach to it, or are you just more whatever it sounds like is what it sounds like, and if I like it, I like it?
Yeah, believe it or not, but I like a good pop song. I like a good melody, and even if I do my ludicrous, but very interesting for me and for my lovely freak guitar camper stuff that can be in 75, 30-second notes. It still has to be a song included. Otherwise, you are screwed. Then it becomes math music for the sake of being complicated, right, and that's fun for about 22 seconds.
Right.
So you have to have a song involved, and I forgot the question again.
Basically, I'm just wondering how much theory you actually put into your songwriting as opposed to just feel.
None. I'm aware of the theory, but I don't start out and say, yeah, today I'm going to do a song in B-flat Aeolian, and it's going to be in 9/8. I do what I do, and if there's something, hey, this is interesting. Yes, very good. Then I continue to work with it. And usually I get bored after a while, and it takes time to actually wrap things up. But that's one of the good things that I was born with, that I'm a very stubborn guy. I finish things. I complete them. They may not be brilliant, but I do complete things. And it's a constant battle to do it. But yeah, and it can drive me crazy. But I love it. And, the next day you forgot about the hopeless process of mixing and mastering, and let's do it again.
Right.
So
right. Yeah.
Gotta have a look at that. Hello, Jonathan, Andrea, John. Yes, hello, Laurent. Very good. Cool.
Oh, good question.
Yeah, from Mexico. How's it going? Do you use guitar plugins? Should I maybe not answer the question? I'll look at you. We'll do it later on.
What's that?
Many questions popping up. Let's do it later on.
Okay.
You do your questions, and then we can. Yeah. Absolutely.
Of course.
You run this. It's your show.
No, I was just going to let you answer whatever you want. But the great Mattias runs the show, sir. I'm just along for the ride on this one. But yeah, these are all mostly selfish questions about playing guitar, because one of those things that, like, you're using an 8-string guitar, and if you're going to look at that many strings on a guitar, you're going to bring up Tosin Abasi, and you're going to bring up Periphery and all those popular djenty and extended range type feel things, and it's kind of a essentially a breath of fresh air to see somebody not use so much theory, because while it's great to listen to that music, I'll listen to that and just be like, I have like no clue what's going on. As a guitar player,
Yeah.
I can't even like get like I can't relate to playing it because it's so just in the stratosphere. I think that goes for a lot of other guitar players and people that are trying to create music now. It's very
Mhm.
intimidating to try and keep up with that, even though everybody is trying very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see somebody who says, "Dude, I pick up the guitar and whatever comes out," and that's just the way I do it, as opposed to having
Yeah.
strict theory.
And I think also it can be quite energy draining to, as I said before, I use all the today's hip whatever outlets, YouTube or to for my own very selfish purposes to get my stuff out there, and then I pull down the curtain, I turn it off because it's always someone out there. He's much better, and this is the new black. And check this guy. This is hot shit. He's newborn, and he's playing Flight of the Bumblebee with his penis or whatever, and it's 6 million BPMs, and to me it doesn't really matter. It's just, I get tired from the white noise, and I need my energy to write my own music because that's what's making me a happy camper. I love Tosin and everyone, and Periphery and the guys, and I know them and they're fabulous. But they do their thing. Do your own
Right.
thing. That's
Exactly.
it. Don't say, oh shit, there's no point. I'm gonna sell my guitar. Everybody's so fast and played 16 string guitars and I'm fucked. No, don't be. Pick up the ukulele, buy a distortion pedal, do your own thing, play it backwards, write some Viking satanic lyrics and whatever, bebop, doo wop, wop wop. Do your thing. That's
By the way,
it.
real
Oh
quick,
shit,
just want to say hi to the man himself, Gabriel. He
Gabriel.
said hello to everybody. Hello to you, Gabriel. And that's
Hello,
that's actually
Gabriel.
who I was talking about earlier. Who decided to send me guitars. Me, a little nobody, and
Yeah,
have me do demos for him. So, dude's a
yeah.
great guy. What is going on, Gabriel?
Tip top. Oh, we have people from, hey, Gabriel. We have Bruno from Portugal, Alexander from Russia. Hello. Oh, very good, very good. Thank you for, many, many people.
By the way,
Jonathan Brown.
I'm going to hijack a little bit of that question that was asked a little bit ago that we were going to wait on because I was wondering the same thing and it was going to pop up for me either way. Do you use guitar plugins on either Final Product or jamming? Like, what's your
I
stance on that?
we spoke about loyalty before, and
Right.
I use Laney amps. I have been using Laney amps for as long as I've used Caparison Guitars, 1996. And nowadays I use it to pretty much move my ass a little bit with actual sonic waves. I use the Helix by Line 6, and I was a very lo-fi man for a very long time. So no. Analog gear, microphone in front of speaker, and because back in the days it didn't really sound that pretty. I used to have the pod, and I thought the Line 6 pod, and it was hopeless. I did one
I still
Hollywood
have one.
yeah, the one
So
Hollywood
cheap.
recording. Yeah, it was it's a terrible device in many ways. I mean, good for practicing, but it was not a splendid musical tool.
Right.
But of course, things get better. And then I tried the Helix, and I thought, oh, good Lord, same thing. It's unnatural. It's not the real thing. Turn on the Laney, and I love my Laneys. There's something with the Volve, tube amp that's it's really hard to imitate. But then I said, maybe you are wrong because everybody loves the Helix and the fractal stuff and Kemper and everything. And I spent a week, and it's an eternity for me to just go through presets and little by little say, I like this. It's got low end, solid low end, and I like this. And then all of a sudden, bloody hell, what a smart device. So now when I travel, well, not during the pandemic, but when I travel, I have my 8-string guitar, the Helix Stomp, tiny thing,
Right.
underpads wrapped around it, laptop bag, go. You can do anything. In-ear system from Shure, and that's it. Maybe it's not super erotic and sexy, but it's great.
Right. I'd imagine most people are going to ask that question just based on the fact that plugins are so big right now in the guitar industry, simply because, Fractal's big. Obviously, Helix and all that stuff is big, but it's also expensive. So it's the plugins are coming in like companies like STL Tones is a huge company. You got Neural DSPs out there. You have all these different companies producing amazing sounding plugins at a very affordable price. So that's why anytime you see that, you're like, oh, I wonder if Mattias uses this. Like, I wonder if he's played this and what he's doing with it, because we have our version of playing a plugin, but we just will always assume that somebody like you or Misha or Tosin could take that and just turn it into this beast of, of a sound.
If you make music out of it, I'm the same with gear as I am with when it's social media stuff, or whatever. I find the stuff that I like, and then I again block everything out. I haven't even, everybody said, have you updated the Helix? You know, it's a new update. It's got 14 new tuning devices and 16 new amps. It's like, I have my sound. So, you know,
750 new impulse responses.
yeah, exactly. I don't even know what that is. Everybody is saying, what kind of impulse response do you have? I don't know what it is. I really do not. So what is it? I know I don't. I use the cab, and then and people send me impulse response, and it takes me a day to get it right and get it into the system, take it away immediately, and go back to my own sound. So in a way, I have super duper. I have 500 megabits, and I live in the isolated Swedish woods where nobody can hear you scream, and we have a full moon today, and everything. So I have high-tech stuff, but I only use a fraction of it to make my own music. I'm very, very thankful of today's technology, but I also like to be outdoors and chop wood and take long walks in the wood. And it has to be a balance, you know. And it's very easy to get lost in plug-in inferno and spend days just tweaking. And in the end, it doesn't really matter shit, does it? If you find a good guitar sound, whatever you're using, even if it's a freeware or whatever, use it and write music. You know, nobody gives a shit. I can't stand this. This is the blah, blah, blah plugin. You know, I can't listen to this. Nobody gives a shit. You know, make music. That's what it is. You know, make music, and you have something to say with your music. And that's, for me at least, this is what it all boils down to. And now I have excellent tools. I have my beautiful Applehorn 8 splendid guitar, a whole pile of them here. I have the Helix, I have my Laneys, I have my MIDI kit, I have all sorts of, you know, software, but I use a fraction of it. Even, you know, take Word or Photoshop. If everything stopped today, I think it would take about 75,000 years before we finally understood every little menu and what the software can do, you know. Exactly, so when I start tweaking, I get bored to death. It's like, well, fuck this. I'll use my own sound. Same shit I've always been using.
You just want to play. So, nowadays definitely get option paralysis with all of the things that are out there. Onto a question that I'm sure everybody's definitely wondering if they're watching this. What is going on with Freak Kitchen right now?
Yes, good things. Let's see. Oh, it's Jones. Hello, Jones. Are you in Tennessee? Yes. Why am I saying this with the British accent? Never. Yeah. And a secret Viking scouts. Well, Freak Kitchen is very much alive and well. Well, it's because, I don't know, it's probably me, stubborn guy again, turned down a lot of streaming concerts kind of things. I rather do the real thing. But I'm working on the new album, and it will be released the second half of this very year. And today I've been riffing away, and tomorrow I will complete one of the tracks with the guitars. I have a disciplined little schedule that I have to do each week because otherwise you get nothing done. So Freak Kitchen is very much alive and well, and we'll go back on the road as soon as we can. But there's a new album, second half of this year, and yeah, jolly good.
Awesome. I'm sure everybody's excited to hear that.
Yeah.
So on the subject of Viking scales, do you have any go-tos when you pick up the guitar? Is there something you just always play whenever you pick the guitar up, or is it always different for you?
Probably is. I think I'm super duper unique, but I do the same shit all over and over. Well, you know, I'm stuck in the Indian swamp. I can't get out of it. And the more I say to myself, I'm done with the Indian stuff. I've done my no, I just know a tiny little bit of Indian music. And I will never be an expert on Indian music. I don't want to be an expert on Indian music, but I am fascinated by the texture and the tonality, and sometimes the most, to me, as a, you know, Disney-haired 51-year-old man. That sounded wrong. Disney-haired 51-year-old. So yeah, I'm Indian stuff, Indian music, and then I bring them to Sweden and make them sort of semi-Viking scales, because the Indians get very confused by what I do as well. It's like it's been to Sweden and something wrong happened to it, and it smells Indian and it feels Indian, but it's polluted by a Viking in the woods with distortion and 8-string guitar and so on. So that's what I do. many cool Indian scales, and I probably play them all wrong. And sometimes I get a good spank from my Indian friends and say, "No, you start on the wrong note." I like it. I say.
What made you want to transition from a 6 string to an 8 string? Like, what drove you to look at the fretboard and say, "I need 2 more strings"?
I actually had my friend Fredrik Thorndal of Meshuggah over for coffee one day. I said, "You need to try the 8 string guitar. We have to sort it out. You have to try an 8 string guitar, because I believe you can drag it out of the gent inferno thing. I don't think he gives a shit about gent. He's doing what he's doing." So I picked it up, and it was hopeless at first. I got me an Ibanez 8 string, and it was just, it took me a week to figure out how to tune it. I didn't like the B and F sharp for the low strings.
Right.
Tuning at all. It didn't work. It didn't feel musical to me. It was like, no, this is just awkward. It's just something that someone decided without any thought about actual music. So I tuned it to low A and low E, and therefore you get a great resonance. And the chords, you can do really low end chords that sound like a lute from hell, sort of. And after a while, I got more and more. I remember I did my first clinic like 2 or 3 weeks after I picked it up, and I was shit scared. I'd never been as scared in my entire life. I had to look at strings. Oh, where is it? What am I doing? I can't even play the most simple Fur-Elise melody without screwing it up. And it's not necessarily like a running water nowadays either. You struggle. It took me a while to get it. Since I sing in Free Kitchen as well, I had to really. I have a friend who's good with the body parts, and he said, you have to do more push-ups, because all of a sudden, and I have no pain whatsoever, although I've been overplaying in my teenage years and everything, I never had any trouble with that. But all of a sudden, all kinds of, shit, I feel like Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Right.
So I started to do, I'm still an ugly son of a gun, but just to become stronger. And then you stand up almost like a Segovia from hell, more than you can't do the Guns N' Roses Slash thing. You have to have it like this. What are we talking about? Yeah. So little by little, you get adjusted to playing an 8 string guitar.
Yeah, I think everybody has like an outlook on, especially nowadays, on on an 8 string guitar or a 7 string guitar, and you immediately assume that somebody's getting an 8 string guitar just so they can have deeper chugs, right? All they see is just like that really low, just gents, where that came from. That chug type of sound. But I just asked that because I'd imagine you looked at it completely different when you approached the 8 string. You weren't just looking for that.
Yeah, well, it's the obvious thing to start genting in a cheap way. That's the easy thing. But there are many strings, many strings, and when you combine it all, that's where to me, interesting things happen. So you can do anything really. I love building just big landscapes and textures and riffing away really dry guitars left, right, and then creating a universe of really ambient stuff with messing around with the helix and just picking one note here and there, and again with the true temperament frets, it's lovely. It's lovely because it's in tune.
Right. So plucking another question out of the side, which I think is a good question, especially since you're talking about true temperament. Have you played through an Evertune, and how do you feel about those?
Well, actually, good friend Matt Blackett wrote me today from Evertune, and I tried it once, but then it was kind of set up wrong, I think, because the bends were absolutely hopeless and so on. Right. And he tells me to bug Ola Englund, who's also a friend, and steal one of his guitars at the time. But right now, I don't feel the need for it, but I'd be happy to check it out because I need the vibrato arm, and to this very day, there's no vibrato arm, is it? They talked about it many years ago when I met them.
As far as I know, there's no such thing as an Evertune with a.
I need vibrato arm. Yeah, I need it. It's that and the volume pedal. Otherwise, I'm fucked.
I see.
But I'd be happy to try it out. For touring and stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have a Solar guitar, an S1.6, and it has an Evertune attached to it, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a pain in the ass to set up, but once it's set up, it's in tune for the rest of its life. It'll never go out of tune.
Yeah, very good. Bruno says, seeing you using two for maybe ever. Yeah, okay, that was the Evertune. Very good question.
It off of that. Quick question. So when you're gonna write a song, are you trying to play a guitar line first and then build off of that? What is your foundation when you approach, songwriting? Is it drums first? Is it a weird sound you heard outside first? What
I
do you?
wish I knew. I wish I knew. It could be a sentence. I lost my penis in Paris. Uh, it could be a chord. It could be a beat. It could be anything. I get asked this question quite a lot, and I don't have a method. It's different every time. Usually, it's good to have a few notes involved. I don't start off on the right symbol when I write a song. Ding,
Right.
ding, ding, ding. So, but it's really different every time. I have no formula, and I can just sit and mess with my keyboard for some time, and then it's fun to compose on keyboard, and then try to figure out, because then you have to find new ways to play it on guitar, and it's pretty cool. Because again, I said, oh, I think I'm so unique. No, I'm not. I pick up the guitar and play the same shit like everybody else, And people, oh, what kind of get to use play so strange? What kind of guitar heroes do you have? Same as everybody else. Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, Yngwie. I grew up listening to AC/DC, and people
Right.
think I listen to music from Pluto, but I did not. It's the same thing. Iron Maiden.
Right, exactly. All,
You
yeah,
know,
all the old guitar heroes. So I know you were inspired by Angus Young when you were watching. I guess they broadcasted it out where
yeah.
you were. Has anybody come along since then, in all these years that you just watched, and above all others, it just blew you away? You were just like, wow, that's a thing now. Like, has that happened?
Yeah, yes. There are many guitar players. Like with Angus, it was the raw energy of AC/DC. The
Yeah,
timing, because they groove, and groove is super duper important. Look, drumsticks.
drumsticks.
Um, yeah, so it's, I mean, but there are many, many, many splendid guitar players. I'm a big fan of John McLaughlin, and people say, what do you like John McLaughlin? He's a jazz player. Yeah, but and he's got funny intonation and everything, despite the fact that he owns a true temperament guitar. It's still out of tune, but he plays like he means it. And that's the cool thing. I love what he's doing. He's really into it. And some of the old Shakti stuff on acoustic guitar, to me, it's like death metal energy. I go crazy, although it's world music, or call it what you will. I really like Michael Lee Firkins. He's a friend, and I love his playing. And I realize I'm actually a tad influenced by his way to fingerpick. And I think it's underrated is a weird word, but he's really, really good to this very day. I like it. So, yeah.
You know what? A good question from Bruno
Oh, yeah.
here on the bottom of the comments. Do you
Yeah.
practice? And if so, what's your go-to practice routine?
I don't really practice, but on the other hand, what is practice, Bruno? I've never had, when I was a teenage guy, I quit school and I sat home, and then I played for many, many hours. That is practice, obviously. But practice for me is also to survive a gig and do a good clinic, and focus and keep the energy, or just talking to Abel here of Pitbull Audio in San Diego. So to me, it's all the same thing, but I never ever sit down and work on certain licks or whatever. I go for something and I realize, no, I can't do this. I'll do it anyway and find a way to fake it. I remember when Frank Gambale showed up and left. I think he's from Australia, and he was on everybody's radar, and had these kind of flexi disc with sweep picking that was just not the classical, triads and boring stuff. He had actual texture with adult chords that he was sweeping.
Oh, I remember
And
the
I thought,
videos. He's a neon.
yeah,
The guitars neon's got like spandex on, and I was like, "Wow, I watch you right
never
now."
mind that and the kangaroos. But I thought it was great. I thought, I want to do this, and I realized I can't. I cannot. My fingers are not like Frank's. And no matter what I did and trying to follow the tablature and the notation, I couldn't do it. So I said, well, fuck you, Frank. I'm going to do my own arpeggios. So that's what I'm going to do with it. Then I work with that. So, but I never ever, it's boring me to death to spend time with the metronome, whatever. I write music, and if music includes a fast run on the guitar, I'll find a way to fake it, And obviously, if you play a lot, Bruno, you will get a good technique, There are many, many, many things, more than you could ever know, that I cannot do. I am the worst, least all-round player on the planet. I've said that a million times, but I would survive about 15 and a half seconds in a bar band, Whereas lots of colleagues and friends, I'm in Japan. Oh, Paul Gilbert is jumping on stage and playing with the Beatles band for 3 hours. Yes, I could jam along, but I would ruin every song with Darigadadum and Indian scales, and So I suck at everything but my own music, and I suck at that too every once in a while. But I try, at least. I try to break new ground for myself and do something that makes me happy. And there are enough people out there that actually likes my weird stuff, so I can make a fine living, and it's lovely. Hey, there's Connor. Hello, Connor, from Ireland. I'm good. We have people from all over the world, Thailand, and we have Finland. Yes.
So when you're in the studio and you're kind of let's say you're working on a song or something like that, and you engineer all the music yourself, right? You record all your stuff on your own.
Yes.
How long did it realistically take you to really learn to mixing and mastering and engineering and all that stuff is just such a intimidating task now. So how did you really immerse yourself in that? And how long did it take for you to really get good at that?
It's a humbling process, and it is to this very day. It really is. And I am doing things maybe I shouldn't, but I want to get good at it. So I get some new stuff, and I want to learn how to do this and make it mine as well. And sometimes it's like, yeah, you thought it was easy. It's not. It's never easy. And I take long walks with the dog and try to sort of cleanse my brain, come back, and I realize this sounds like complete shit. Start over. But when I trust my gut feeling, and when my foot starts to, I like this, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to do something to me. And then I bounce it down and sort of lock it in. And then after that, it's the mastering process that can screw up all your, work. So that's also heartbreaking. It's like, what's happened? Where's the snare? The snare is gone in the mastering. What happened? It was a perfectly fine snare. Right. So it's but for me, mixing is also composing, as is mastering. And it took me forever and again, it's a work in progress, and it takes forever to get good at it. But I like the ride. Right. So it's good fun, and it's a great reward when you actually locked something in and you finished it and it's out there. And you listen back, so it's pretty decent, and then I try to forget about it and move on. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally feel that the climate that we're in now when it comes to guitar playing, it's not enough to play guitar anymore, right? You have to also be able to record yourself. You have to be able to use a camera. You have to be able to edit, at least basic editing. With all these things, what advice would you have for somebody watching right now who's sitting as a bedroom guitarist and he wants to start recording some of his music and putting it out there for people to hear? What advice would you give him? Where should he start?
I think it's very easy to get paralyzed, as we spoke about before, because it's overwhelming. Oh, next year I'm going to get this expensive lens to my camera, and then I'm going to do this. Oh shit, I have to get this microphone, and it's not 4K. I will suck. It's not 4K. Everybody will hate me. Nobody's going to subscribe unless it's 4K. For me, it's all about content. It doesn't really matter. Do it because you love it, and your energy and your dedication will shine through. I believe so, at least, and follow your own path, and don't worry about, again, looking to left and right, what's hip and what's not. I get asked, my YouTube channel, I get asked a lot, and people want to give advice, and I get 1,000 emails every week from, you can do this to make it grow, and I'm an expert at blah, 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 and organic views. So I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's fine. Leave it as it is for the people who are interested in stuff that I think about and want to share. It's fine. Otherwise, if I want to become a big YouTuber, I wouldn't do the stuff that I'm doing. But it's fine. It's great. It's a great outlet to be able to post stuff in 31, 32. And it's great. That's what I want to do, And then I'll write a decent pop song the next week. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Gary, what's going on, man? It's good to see you in
Gary.
the comment section. What is happening, brother? So kind of pivoting here a little bit just because I saw it pop up a second ago, but Freak Guitar Camp.
Yes. Lots of
I'm sure everybody's wondering, especially with everything that's going on in the world, what is the status of that, and is that still happening?
It's amazing. The cool thing is they don't give a shit about me. Cappers talk to one another here in the chat.
I know.
We have Jones, we have Laurent, we have Andrea, we have Connor. Yeah, it's amazing. It's many more. The Free Guitar Camp is the really, yes, FGC represent.
Represent.
Oh, it's well, how can I say this? And it's an amazing thing.
Right.
It's and not because of me, because of everything that comes together. It's I think Laurent, are you out there? I think he said that on the way, because it's in the Swedish woods and it's really hopeless to get out of there once you got it. Somewhere on the way to the Free Guitar Camp in the woods, you go into a parallel universe. It sounds deep, but I think it's true. People go there to we hang out together. We work with music. There is no Wi-Fi, no TV, no news, no white noise. It's just quiet and doom and vegetarian food and clean air and a big ass lake and a sauna, canoes even, and it's doing something to one, and it's amazing. I long for it. For me, it's really a big part of my heart. That is the Free Guitar Camp, and that's why I even did it last year. Pandemic year. Try to suck on that. An international guitar camp into 2020, and it was a lot of work, but it was all worth it because there was so much love and amazing, yes, and lots of coffee, yes, double espresso, please. Very strong coffee we have.
Yeah.
Mine is eating right through the cup, as the Frank Zappa song in France. But it's something else. It's not about competition. Everybody are super cool. It's the coolest individuals on the planet. And possibly other planets, because some people said that they saw a UFO, and I can't wait to do it again. And I'm not going to stop. And I don't take the pandemic lightly. And I wrote many emails saying this is where we are now. EU borders are closed and so on, but you can come, and everybody can, from Australia and the US and Brazil and Colombia and Indonesia. You keep your place for next year. And I will continue to do the Free Guitar Camp until I die, because this is my creative outlet, and everything is boiling down to the camp and leading up to the camp. So, and registration begins on Monday. Eh? Yes. And when you go caca, it'll make you stand up. That's true. It's Frank's lyric.
The very Mattias thing to say.
Yeah.
Awesome. So again, pivoting again, what is your approach to singing? When you're writing songs, so much of this is based around playing guitar. Where do you fit in the vocals? Like, are you writing it with vocals in mind, or do you just find a place to put them later? Or?
No, I do. Yeah, for me, playing a melody on guitar as well is the same thing. You can easily. Well, I have a shit voice to begin with, but I don't like singers, so therefore I sing. But I have an extremely limited range. So and nowadays I know what I can do and where I sound okay after 57 million takes, but I will never be the guy who's like, hey, it's a party, I want to sing, I know many songs, I don't know a single song. And even my own, do Freak of the Week, no, not really. It's in D flat sus4 tuning, and it's in 11/4, and it's in Pantovarali rag, and no, and I have had a glass of Chardonnay, so I can't sing. I have a terrible voice, but I sing anyway. No, but I sing and I deliver the melodies and the stuff that I think about, and that's good enough for me. I have a strange Freak Audio Lab project with different kind of singing that will also pop up, hopefully an album second half of this year as well. So, but I sing because I have stuff to say, and I try to carry a tune, and you do what you do, and you don't have to be super duper at everything. And of course, I'm considered the strange, guitar playing guy, but singing takes a lot more time than laying down the guitar because I suck at it. And I'm picky, and I don't use pitch correction or whatever, and I want to get the words right and so on, and my important lyrics that nobody gives a shit about, but including myself. But so yeah, singing is good. Singing is good for the soul. So is the other day I was dancing around like a complete fool in my Freak Audio Lab because I created a groove that I really liked, and I thought, good God, if someone will walk in now, even my wife and son or dog or cat or whatever, they will think I'm insane. But I enjoyed it a lot. the most silly 51-year-old heavy metal pagan god moves you could think of. That was really uncool, but I loved it. And I had a great time dancing around in my freak audio lab. Naked, of course. Yes.
Of course, because why wouldn't you be, right?
Yes, bass players can come to the Free Guitar Camp. Yes, indeed. We have bass players from near and far. Absolutely. We had a great guy, Andrea, from last year. So thank you for Freak Audio Lab. It's a lot of fun. Taka, taka, taka. Yes. I love your lyrics. More Swedish lyrics for the next album. We'll see. We have one song called There Is No R in Banana. And I don't know if you're listening, Gabriel, but you are one of the guys that the reason for that, because you say bananar. It's not acceptable. There is no R in banana.
On banana. Yes. I can see where you can pick up the R on that one.
In Swedish, that would be, det finns inget R I banan. Yeah.
So talking about Freak Audio Lab, do you only work on your own stuff, or do you mix and master for other people, or
No, there's time is the enemy, as we like to say, and I get offered stuff to left and right, and I've turned down most guest appearances as well. I've turned down a fellow, I don't know, well, I'm not a YouTuber, but a YouTuber who'd been bugging me for a year to do a collaboration. I said, no, I don't want to. No, it's not what I do. Then I finally said yes, but I turned down about 99.9% of everything. So I get offered stuff, but the thing is, I would probably suck at it, because when I record my own stuff, it's with the purpose of, it's a vision. This is how it's going to be, So that's how it is. How Linus is handling the new tracks translation. Yeah. I am. There you are. There's no R in banana.
Gabriel heard the banana thing.
Log on, say banana for me 10 times. There's no R in banana. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So what do you listen to when you're not working on your music and you just decide you want to listen to music right now and have a beer? What are you listening to? Or what? Chardonnay, sorry.
Yeah. When it's Chardonnay time,
Chardonnay.
well, it's still classic stuff. Dean Martin, Ella Fitzgerald, Django Reinhardt, Miles, brain cleansing stuff. Because again, I need to refine time and use my energy well. So there are not many blast beats in the Eklundh family kitchen. It's usually Ella or Django or whatever, feel good stuff. That's, you don't really have to think. You can just go with the flow and then go back into the Freak Audio Lab and create really strange music. I'm going to have some coffee to clean my throat in my Quake cup. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I am terrible at checking out what's hip or what's good at the moment and stuff like that. So it's just familiar stuff. I buy a CD every once in a while and put it in my Android phone. So, but I'm a lo-fi man, So, banana.
asking for everybody. By the way, Gabriel, I know he's gonna like this. This is we got the Apple Horn 8 over here.
Here it is.
What are we looking for here when we're talking about the pickups in this guitar? How did you develop these? What tone were you looking for?
I don't know. I don't know. It's I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gabriel. I think these are DiMarcios, and they are very big and they sound very good and they are black, and that's good enough for me. Yeah, this is holy shit. This guitar hasn't been on the road a single day. And it's so nice and shiny. Do you see, boys and girls?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking. I can just look at mine. I can just look at the one that I've got over here.
Yeah.
Very nice and shiny.
Is it?
It is absolutely enormous. It's just insanely.
Oh, look at this. It'll take an hour to find the headstock.
But it just looks so menacing. It just looks so evil when you look at this thing. Here, I'll do the pan over here.
Yeah. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. This was really hard.
It's difficult.
This is a long guitar. It's like a spaceship.
It is. It's like some Star Wars thing floating around.
This was fun. I've never done this before. Yeah. Yeah, lovely.
I think we can get some. We can get some tone. Always putting it away.
Yeah, no. What do you want? Yes, so shiny, so precious. Yeah, it's very shiny. It's a great guitar.
Yes, super cool. Do we have
DiMarcios? Yes. Puff 8 and deactivator 8. You know so many things, Gabriel Ostrauscher. Yes.
Of course, Mattias wouldn't be sure which pickups are in his guitar.
I have no clue.
You know?
When Itaro approached me, he said a couple of things, that 8-string guitar, no inlays because it will ruin the tone. And I was like, oh, bloody hell, because the Apple horns, the 6-string guitars has this, Apple carved out with horns and everything. Very nice. And that sort of created some kind of sustain or whatever. I don't know. But he said for 8-string guitar, no, don't mess with the body. And he said, well, any specifications? I said, black. I want it to be black. That's it. And 8 strings and true temperament frets. That's it. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of wood is it, Gabriel? Yes, it's black wood. Blackwood. I really don't. There's no time for me to know what it, and sometimes I have to look it up on the Caparison site. What is it made of? I don't know. And I forget about 10 seconds later. So that's
okay,
me.
Well, I'll give Gabriel some time to answer that one for us, but because I know he's watching. But
somebody is asking for, where is it? The comb. This is the must comb.
Oh yeah, I asked a while ago about the story about the comb.
Yeah. So basically, you just comb the string. Everybody's seen it. It's on the internet. So, yay! This is one way to make a living. Talk with a guy from San Diego, and yeah. Well, never mind.
It's black walnut and mahogany. He
good.
He put black in caps to make sure that it's everybody.
Typical Swedish trees.
The color.
Yeah. Good. Thank you, Gabriel. A good someone knows. Yes. Ebony fretboard.
Ebony fretboard, of course, and it's perfect because it just looks so evil that if it was, I feel like if it was rosewood or maple or anything like that, it'd be too bright almost. But having that ebony just makes it look sinister, especially with no inlays and just that true temperament just kind of going all over the place.
Yeah.
Thick looking guitar for sure. So how do you stay motivated to keep writing music? Is it just in you and you just can't wait to do it every day, or is there sometimes when you just actually have to force yourself to sit down and just keep working along?
No, bloody hell. I have a big fat Viking head. It's widescreen in every direction, and it's just full of music in my heart and soul, of course. For me, it's just about, again, refining time, and don't spend time on tweaking sounds forever, but execute all the time. I need to go here, go there. The Yoda thing, do or do not. There is no try. I think people talk too much. It's really true. I'm a talker, but most of the time I'm not, because I'm isolated in the forest of Sweden. There's nobody to talk to. You yell at a moose and, hey, talk to me. But it's, again, to find the time to actually manifest your stuff. There's never any shortage of ideas. It's so much I want to do, and then again, find a good way to do it, and don't. Sometimes you get stuck, and then it's like, okay, quickly reverse and go here, because you lose your mojo when you, I have to do this, I have to do. Well, if it's messing with you, forget it, do something else. And it's like if you have a hard drive crash, for instance, it's like I've had a few, and it's like, all this is gone. It's gone. It's vaporized into, binary hell. And then I, give myself a good spank, take a walk, and said, I'm going to do this 10 times better. Deep breath and just do it better, I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, but it's really, there is absolutely no issues with, again, for writing stuff for the camp, for instance, you have to really dig deep. What do I want to do this year? What could be helpful musical tools that is also inspirational and where haven't we been before? And it takes a lot of walking in the woods naked, really racking my brain, and because it has to be interesting for me as well. It has to be stimulating. Otherwise, I can't do it.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes no. Yes. Is there any backstory to the two new air? It does not feel quite related. True, Laurent. Sorry. Yeah, I'm answering Laurent's. There's no real backstory. Otherwise. Other than that, I picked up the. Give me a second.
Sure.
I'm coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mattias.
I'm back.
There you
Laurent, I messed with, you've seen this at the camp, the Tremologic thing with 6 independent vibrato arms. I believe this is the only Caparison guitar on the planet with, so you can go up with one and
Wow.
down with the other. And I just had this melody that I am, maybe you can't hear it, but and then I said I need to write a song around this. So it's a combination of 6-string and 8-string guitar, and I thought, well, yeah, well, it wasn't really Quake material. I get inspired by video games, playing Quake and Doom and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But this
I heard
just felt slightly more romantic, should I say, Laurent? So yeah, you do it, and I thought, new year, new air. Let's just do something else. And I just took down my little spotlights and sat my fat ass on a chair and recorded another cheesy lo-fi YouTube video, and that's it. And it's done surprisingly well. So let me get rid of this. Bloody hell, yeah. I'll be back.
He's coming back.
I'm back. Sorry for messing. I just get carried away. There are so many wonderful people out there. Yes, I love you all. Yes.
You getting carried away is a good thing, sir. The more information we can get out of you, the better.
Very good.
So what's your advice? Obviously, you have Free Guitar Camp, and it's one of the things where it's aimed at learning as much as humanly possible as a guitar player. I'd imagine from both sides. So let's say somebody is just struggling to play guitar right now. Maybe it's just kind of slowly running along, or maybe they're in a rut. What is your advice to a guitar player right now who's just trying to learn more?
I'm bad at advice. It's again.
Well, I'd imagine from the Guitar Camp, point of view, like,
Yeah.
What would you say to them, for somebody who's
At
trying to sell
the camp,
guitar?
yeah. I think to me, at least, it's about, again, finding your own path. And the cool thing is about the campers is that everybody comes to the camp with a completely open mind, and we all struggle with certain things. And the camp is not only about playing guitar, it's about surviving in show business. And you may have a guy like Ola Englund, whatever, and then you have Gabriel might show up, and or Ola Strandberg, or whatever, guitar. So and what do you do to get recognized, and where do you start to smell weird, overexposure or over posting or whatever, and it all boils down together, but you have to find your own way to do it and be fearless, and also know when to back off, and don't be afraid to give yourself time and be away for a while. I last year was obviously extremely messy, and the Free Audio Lab videos were a great outlet for me to just, hey, how you doing? And I thought about this, and maybe you in your, week 15 Italian balcony. All right, nothing to do. Hey, it's a Free Audio Lab video. I can clap Swedish, Indian, Dariganatum. But I also said at the beginning of this year that I may not post all the time, or I may post 7 days a week, or once every 7th month, is to give yourself freedom to refine your playing and who you are and how to get that through in your playing. And it's not easily done, but little by little, you look in the rear view mirror and you realize, yeah, I'm actually better now, hopefully, than I was, or at least different.
Right.
Yeah, as I said, I was shredding my pants off when I was 16 and a half years old. And now it's like, oh God, I'm sloppy, but I have so much more to say.
Right.
So that's what I do. I'm not sure what the question was. I just talk. Yes.
Not a problem. And that's what we love. But
Yes.
you know what? I think I'm gonna let you finish off your evening there at home. Mattias, thank you so much for joining us once again. In case you guys are wondering, this is the Apple Horn 8, the Caparison Beast.
Can we do this? Can we do this one again? I like this. It was great. I like this very much.
Let me try and get it synced up and ready. And
1,
2.
Make funny sound.
You have better funny sounds than I do. But again, if you guys want to check this out, log on to pitbullaudio.com. You guys can check out this Apple Horn 8 by Caparison. Again, Mattias, thank you so much, Senor, for joining us. It was lovely to
Thank
talk
you
to
so
you.
much.
Thank you to
Thank you
everybody
so
for
much for
watching.
everyone out there as well, all around the planet. I love you all, and soon I will come and kiss and hug you when you least expect it. Yes.
Thank you guys for joining
That's
us.
right.
We'll catch you guys on the next one. We are out.
Thank you.